Ever wonder how much speakers impact guitar sound and what a cab does to the guitar sound? Today we'll delve into that a bit by comparing two different Marshall cabs. Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karilan, and it's good to have you along. You can call me this guy if my name is tricky to pronounce. Today we're taking a look at two Marshall cabs. One is to my right, which should be your left. It's the one over there in the corner. It's the Marshall 1960 AHW. The other is the Marshall 1960 TV, which stands for Tall Vintage. Okay, so the AHW is a hand-wired reissue which sells for new 899 euros here in Europe. It's loaded with Celestion's 30-watt Celestions. I think they're also called Greenbacks, but I might be wrong, because Greenbacks are also, or at least, the 25-watt versions. And the Marshall Tall Vintage is loaded with 25-watt Celestions, which are actual proper Greenbacks. As you can see, the TV Tall Vintage is slightly taller than the regular sized Marshall cab. The AHW is a regular sized cab. The TV is taller and vintage, hence the name. So what we're doing today is basically comparing the two cabs and comparing the speakers. Now, it's not an entirely scientific type of thing because the Tall Vintage is a larger size cab. The actual proper way to compare the speakers would be to just have one cab and switch out the speakers. Yes, I know. I'm not going to start doing that because basically this for me is to try out the two different cabs and see which I like better. Part of the story is that I actually thought that my AHW cabs, I have two of them and I've been using them for ages, I thought that they were actually loaded with the 25-watt Celestion Greenbacks. It even says 100 on the front. But I saw a good deal on the Tall Vintage and kind of started, for some reason I decided to check what's inside, and then I turned it around and it said 120 watts, and even with my stupid rock and roll metal playing head, I could do the math that 4 times 25 isn't 120. I don't know what it is, but it's not 120. So I opened it up and yes, lo and behold, 4 30-watt Celestions inside the AHWs. So I bought the Tall Vintage and now I'm going to compare. I've mic'd up the top, from my perspective, the top left speaker. If I turn around, it's the top right speaker. I've mic'd up that on the AHW. Now I'll try to get the miking the same on the TV. But that might be a bit difficult because the dimensions are different. If it was identical I could just measure it out, but I'm not entirely sure. But I will try to get it as exact as possible. So first off, just a clean-ish type of tone, then a slightly overdriven tone, and then much overdrive. Yes, because that's fun. I have a custom mahogany Strat with Seymour Duncan YJM Fury pickups, and I'm using the Marshall 1987X 50-watt Plexi head. Yeah, this should be interesting. First, the AHW. Bit of overdrive. Okay, the tall vintage next with the 25 watt Celestion Greenbacks. I have measured that it's as far from the side as on the other cab, and I tried to match it height wise so that it's picking up from the same place as on the AHW, so you shouldn't get too big of a difference in terms of miking. There might be a bit, but hey, that's life, deal with it. Same thing again. Clean and then not so clean. A bit of gain. Well, interesting. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments? Before I get going, thank you to my patrons over on Patreon who make it possible for me to buy gear and review it. I couldn't do this without you guys. As it is, I'm still losing money. But at least I'm having fun, and I hope you are too. Yeah, what do I think of these? I think the AHW sounds a bit more, there's a bit more going on, a bit more, how should you say, in the upper mid area, some kind of aggression going on there. I have to listen back to it. Playing either one, I'm perfectly happy. But I will definitely have to get to know these both. The TV seems to have a bit more bottom end, but it somehow seems gentler as well. But almost as if it would sing a bit more. I'm so used to the AHWs, I love them, but I really like this. I previously had the kind of regular Marshall, what's it called, 1960B, I think. I had the bottom cab with the regular, the kind of the most popular guitar cab there is. I wasn't too keen on that, but this one I'm liking. I'll actually have to, I can't make up my mind. I'll just have to get to know both and listen back to multiple recordings of these to just really get to know them. Both sound very nice. Yeah. Check out more of my gear reviews. There's a playlist here somewhere. Click like and all that. Comment, let me know which one you preferred. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell notification thing. And hey, support me on Patreon. Helps me make more of these videos. I hope to see you in another one. And in the meantime, take care. Bye.